everyone, welcome to Scrapbook Process video number 39, I believe, and this is yet another one with first edition Hey Baby from Trimcraft. I think I'll give you a break next week, by the way. We're halfway through the nieces and nephews now, so we'll do something else next week, a different collection. But yes, so this one is Hey Baby Ben. Ben is the third born out of my nieces and nephews, and he was the first boy and the first child of my second eldest sister. So yes, it's his turn this time, because we're doing it in age order, because that's the easiest way to do it. So for this one, I'm doing the same kind of technique as I did in the Hey Baby Amy, the first layout, which is doing a cut file and then backing the cut file. Now, I'm sure you have seen this many times. You know, you might have seen it from me, and you've seen it thousands of times from other YouTube scrapbookers, but basically, you get a cut file, you draw around the little bits, you cut around what you've penciled in, and slightly bigger than the way you've drawn it, and then stick it to the back like so, and then you have a beautiful cut file with lots of stuff on the back. And it always looks nice, I think. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a YouTuber do it and it not look good. It is a faff, and there's a lot of effort, but it's usually worth it. So for this layout, I'm making stars the theme of the layout. The first one was hot air balloons, the second one was florals and butterflies and stuff, and this one is going to be stars. I was inspired by that paper you can see there, which is my background paper, the sort of the mint with the teal stars and stuff. I thought, yeah, really appropriate. And it's more boyish as well, appropriate for a baby boy. And it's also kind of a little related to the way that I look in this picture, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. But while I have your attention, can we talk about glue for a minute? I would like you guys to recommend me your favourite wet glue. Ideally tacky glue. Basically, I've fallen out of love. I've fallen out with my usual tacky glue from Hobbycraft, and I'm just having trouble finding a replacement. I bought some stuff from the range. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in a sort of a bronzy bottle. It said on the label that it was super sticky, and then I was like, great, and then I got it home and used it, and then I realised it was a slow dry, and I really don't want slow dry, and I don't want to have to buy every single kind of glue out there, so please recommend me your favourite liquid, ideally tacky glue, because yes, I'm in the market, as it were. Ideally something that's readily available in the UK as well. Just going to add that in there. So yes, back to the layout. Once my cut file had been fully backed, I did consider backing it again with that pink star paper that you saw a minute ago. You know, kind of doing it, backing it, sort of matting it and having a layer around it, but I decided against that. I thought it would be too much. I just kind of wanted to use the star paper, the other star paper, really. But what I did do is this cut apart paper from the 12x12, and I did the 8x8 as well. I hadn't used these yet, hadn't cut any of them yet, and I was like, it's about time that I used some of those. So I cut that entire page from both the 12 and the 8x8. Didn't take too long, however, because they are quite simple shapes. Most of them are squares and tags and stuff. There's not too many complicated bits. Like, it's can barely be called fussy cutting. So I have my Hey Baby title that goes on every one of these layouts. It's always Hey Baby and then the name. So I've got the biggest Hey Baby star from the decoupage pad, and that one's got the yellow edge, which I thought would work very well as, well, not yellow, yellowy orange, as that's the exact same colour that my actual big star has. So I thought those two would work well together. And then, because with my main piece there, the cut file and then the Hey Baby star, I was like, that leaves me with two stars and that's going to look a bit off. So I decided to punch out with a 1-inch punch and a 1 centimetre punch, I think, maybe 1.5 centimetre, just a load of little stars. I used my favourite paper from this pad, which is the glittery sort of confetti or scattered dots, kind of rainbow one, whatever you want to call it, and then another one which is a colourful one, colourful stripes kind of thing. I wanted to make sure I kept with the more boyish papers kind of thing, and I only chose 2 colours of stars because I didn't want to make it overly complex and make them like a really big part of their layout. They're more about details and stuff. So as much as I wanted to use that other star paper for something more interesting, I just couldn't think of anything really, so it's just there to back my photo, really. I did leave a slightly wider layer than I usually or border, sorry, than I usually do for backing my photos, maybe about 1/2 centimetre-ish. Not that I ever measure these things, I just eyeball it, but yes, so that is the one I chose. And then I think, well, I mean, this layout, once I'd done the cut file, this layout actually came together pretty quickly, so yes. Now I suppose it is time to talk about that picture, because I mentioned in the first video, and I talked about it more in the second video, about how, you know, all the kids were born when I was a teenager. Well, not all of them, the youngest not quite, but anyways, most of them were born when I was a teenager and going through the phases of changing my hair very, very frequently. So in the last one, I had still fairly natural, it just had some highlights in and stuff like that. And then this picture is almost exactly a year later. Ben is like 1 year and 9 days or something younger than his cousin, and things had changed quite significantly over this time. Yeah, I was, fellow millennials will know what I'm talking about here. I was what was known as a scene kid. That's what we called ourselves back in the day. It was like an emo kid, but we didn't go for the emotional side of it. We just were for the fashion side of it. So we dressed like emo kids, but we're more fashionable than emo kids. So yes, anyone who's not a millennial is like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I went overboard and chopped all my hair off. So I had the long sweeping black emo fringe at the front, and it was black and spiky at the back, and it had blonde streaks in it. And yes, that's all I have to say about that. And then of course in the picture is the very adorable little baby Ben, and I'm just putting on his name there, which I decided to put on a tag. Those thickers are, I can't remember what collection they're from. I've had them for ages and ages and ages and rarely used them actually. They were one of those ones where you buy and you go, oh, I love the colour of these are going to be great. And then when you actually go to use them, you're like, oh, these don't go with a whole lot of things, but they did go with this layout. But I did want to put them on that little tag there because I didn't want the title of Ben just to be floating around. It needed something to ground it, so I just used that simple little tag, which I have a thing with tags where I always want to have them punched and have twine or string or cotton or whatever in them, and I forgot to do that with the 2 tags that I put behind the photo. But I'm actually kind of glad I did that, because I think if twine was in every single one of those 3 tags overall, it would look a bit meh. I end up just putting some Nuvo drops over the little sort of hole spaces on those tags, and I think that works better. But yes, picture, little baby Ben. Ben is now 12. He was 12. He turned 12 last week, so happy birthday, Ben. And yes, he was the first boy, and what an absolute little cutie in that photo. He looks like almost too perfect in that photo, almost like a little doll kind of thing. Like, bless him. So super cute. But yes, Ben is now 12, which means I was 16 in that photo, and oh, let's just not talk about it, okay? Let's not. Anyways, so putting all my stars down, I did have to punch a couple of extras. I just kind of did them in random, kind of put some big ones down, put some small ones down, alternated the colours. I didn't think about it too much. I did mostly do them. You can see there's not really any on the bottom right. They're mostly around the left and up the top kind of thing, and those are all just going down with some glue dots. And so yes, those are there. Quite happy with how those look. I put that special delivery banner on that tag as well for the Ben to sit on, and I put another little one down there as well, and those were some of the things that I cut from that cut apart sheet. So what else am I doing? Oh, there's some little teeny weeny tiny glittery star stickers in the Hey Baby sticker book. So I put those down there as well, just because nice little details and stuff. They match the whole star theme. It's always nice to just have little bits and pieces. That's, at least for me, that's the way I like to do my layouts anyway. And there's my Nuvo drops. At the moment, it seems I cannot do layouts without Nuvo drops. That colour is Caribbean something, ocean, maybe. Anyway, I thought that gorgeous blue, it went nicely with the layout, but also stood out enough. I didn't go overboard on the Nuvo. Sometimes I do. I just put them on the tags, as I said, and then just a couple around the main Ben title kind of thing. And this is where things nearly got disastrous. They didn't, but they nearly did. So I wanted splatters, and I decided to go with the Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in mint. It's not the sweet mint, by the way. That is a different colour. The sweet mint is a very minty, pastel-y one. this mint is a very green one, and I have had nothing but grief from that particular bottle. It's always leaking, and you know the little ball that helps shake it up, it always gets stuck, and you'll see in a second I went to start my splattering and oh dear, look at that big ugly blob that happened. And I had this ink all over my hands. I mean, better than my hands than the layout, you know, but yes, very quickly had to mop those up. In my panic, I smushed some of the Nuvo drops because I'm an idiot. You should always do Nuvo drops last, people, even after your splatters. But yes, I do fix that big green blob, don't worry about it. And the green does show up more green on camera than it actually is in real life. Like, it looks a bit right now for me on my screen, but I promise you it's not quite that bold in real life. So I just had to redo those Nuvo drops that I smushed. Thankfully, if you're very quick with a baby wipe, you can sort them out. It's not too much trouble. And I just punched an extra couple of stars to sort out that horrible green blob that happened. But yes, a couple of my Heidi Swapp bottles have done this to me now. I have 17 bottles of Heidi, and 3 of them I think mess up like this, so something to be aware of, guys, just as an FYI. But yes, with covering up my little green accident, that is finishing off the layout. So there we go, I am finished. So I'll give you a break for a week or so from Hey Baby and do something else next week, but for now, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll put links in the description box to where you can purchase this collection if you are interested, and I will also link the other 2 Hey Baby layouts that I've done so far. So please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and for now and again, thank you for watching. I am now going. Bye bye.